We love finding unique places to stay in our travels, and over the years we've used both Harvest Hosts and Boondockers Welcome, and we wanted to explain what the programs are, some concerns that we have over some recent things that we found, why we think Harvest Hosts has kind of lost sight of the original intention of their program, and whether or not we choose to continue with our membership. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the programs, Harvest Hosts gives you access to overnight stays at businesses such as wineries, breweries, farms, churches, any kind of business that you can imagine. Whereas Boondockers Welcome gives you access to parking on private property, so other RVers. It might be their house, their driveway, or some open land that they might have. Both programs offer RVers a safe alternative to overnight parking so that you don't have to rely, on Cracker Barrel or Walmart or a rest area. Sounds great, right? Unfortunately, we've noticed some major shifts lately, and not necessarily for the better. Now, Harvest Host has recently completely revamped their site, and they've added some really cool features, and I've discussed those in some previous videos that we'll link down below. But there are a few things that they're doing that are of concern to us. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not bashing the program in its entirety. There's just a few things that we're concerned about that we wanted to let you know about so that you would be informed. So don't get me wrong, we have had some truly amazing stays, and here's kind of a glimpse of some of our favorites that we visited over the years. Our very first stop was at Tuscan Hills Winery in Effingham, Illinois. They have a huge open parking lot and amazing food and some really great wine. Bliss Hills Farm in Claxton, Georgia. We loved the scenery out there, and Wicket really loved feeding the catfish every day. The Gourd Barn in Moran, Michigan. Again, large open parking lot, really peaceful and private, and an amazing owner with some great artwork. And then Plainview Farm in Manistee, Michigan. These people were so sweet. They were brand new, but it was the greatest little location. They had a small airport right nearby where you could see the planes taking off and landing directly over the RV. It was just really cool. And we've also stayed at quite a few Boondockers Welcome over the years, and we're not going to mention them just for their privacy, but we have pretty much loved every single Boondockers Welcome host that we have stayed with. So this is where things kind of start to go downhill. So the original idea was simple. Stay for free overnight at a Harvest Host location, and in exchange, you support that business by either purchasing products or services or making a donation. And originally, the vast majority of host sites did not offer any hookups. You had to be fully self-contained. But now, a lot of them are starting to offer at least some form of hookup, whether it's just water or electric, and some of them even have some form of dump station that you have access to. Unfortunately, some of those host sites are charging exorbitant fees for your hookups. So not only are you expected to spend a minimum of $30 in support of the business, but some of these places are charging $30, $45, I've even seen as high as $75 a night for hookups or just an extra night. So that's pretty pricey when you think about the fact that it doesn't cost that much for the actual hookups. I have no issue paying a little bit of money for hookups, especially if I'm using my air conditioning units in the middle of summer. But we've done the math, and it's a couple of dollars a night. I mean, for a full 24-hour period, if you're using all three of your air conditioning units, you're running your dishwasher, you're doing loads of laundry, and $65, $75, even $35 a night for electric just seems like highway robbery to us. So Harvest Host is doing a really great job at adding more and more locations, but I don't think they're doing a really good job at explaining the program fully to these businesses. So I recently reached out to Harvest Host with this concern about the exorbitant hookup fees, and their response kind of honestly left me shaking my head a little bit. So they pretty much said that Boondockers Welcome, they set a cap on how much they can charge for hookups, because it's not a way for them to make money, it's a way for them to give back to the community. And so in order to attract the right people to the program, they set that cap and don't allow them to essentially make a profit off of hookups. For harvest hosts, however, they want to give them as much autonomy as possible to generate revenue for their business. But I kind of feel like they need to set the same policy as they do for Boondockers Welcome, that if you're trying to attract the right type of people to the program, you need to have some sort of policy in place to make sure that people aren't just gouging their customers and deviating from the original intent of the program. So, is the program still worth it? I kind of think so. You just have to make sure that you understand fully what you're getting yourself into and carefully read through the entire host description all the way down into the services offered, the parking notes, everything. And if you see excessive fees, then just vote with your wallet and don't stay there. Go somewhere else. So just to reiterate, our whole point of this video was to just bring you the information and knowledge so you know that it's out there. Now, we're going to choose to keep our membership because we have stayed at some truly amazing places and met some really amazing people, but buyer beware. Know what you're getting before you get there. You don't want to be surprised like we were at one harvest host where we were expected to pay $20 a night for 30 amp electric only and $20 a night for extra nights and make a purchase every day that we were there. So essentially it was $40 a night in fees plus supporting the business, and we kind of just thought that was a little unusual to say the least. All right, so what do you think? Have you used Harvest Host? Have you used Boondockers Welcome? If so, go ahead and leave us a comment down in the description and let us know whether you had a good experience, a bad experience. Have you come across any of these issues that I've mentioned with the exorbitant hookup fees? And if you haven't tried them yet, go ahead and use our link down below to receive 15% off, and then let us know what you think of the program after you've given a shot.
This is one of the coolest things that we've seen.
Probably, yeah.
So this is the SpaceX launch site behind us.
Yep.
And I never would have imagined that we could get this close to this place.
Right.
That you can literally drive right by this thing,
Yeah.
park here. The beach is 150 yards up the road.
Yeah.
And there's just people camped out here. I can't imagine they're going to be camped out here for the actual launch, but there's definitely some like hippie type people just just hanging around. Was the road. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. So if you come down here, this is the Boca Chica Beach here in South Texas. If you come down here, this road coming in is terrible. So keep that in mind. We're in a big ass dually.
If you can drive something besides a dually,
yeah,
drive it.
Yeah. So we're gonna go check out the beach first, and then we'll come back and check out the launch site area. So ready?
Yeah.
What do you think about this? This is prettier than South Padre,
Yeah,
which is just north of us.
less busy. There's nothing to do out here, so you're not drawn in the tourist crowds.
Although somebody said that they need to find a bathroom.
Yes, and
Good luck.
that might be something.
No? You want to walk down there?
Sure.
Okay. What we're looking at here is the Falcon 8 rocket booster. We just talked to a guy who seemed to know a heck of a lot more about it than we did. So this one that's going to go up is, he said, it's taking up some kind of mock satellites. It's basically a test run. And so it's going to take these mock satellites up, and then they're basically just going to come back down to Earth, crash back down to Earth, burn up in the atmosphere. So it's just some kind of a test launch.
Yeah.
So
Make sure it doesn't explode, you know.
So that's basically what's going up here. Hopefully on Monday, hopefully we'll get to see that. I think they're still waiting for some approvals is what he said. aside from that stuff, this beach is freaking beautiful. I mean, this is just really, really pretty out here. So we're gonna walk down. There's something down here, I don't know. Looks like there could possibly be a restroom or something, but we're gonna go figure it out. Okay guys, so we are here at Base Camp 0 at the SpaceX launch site. This is Calvin, and he has been nice enough to just kind of let us know what he does down here, maybe a little bit about what's going on.
I've been down here for 3 years. I come down and spend about a month each launch. I sleep in my truck for the month, and I'm here for Children's Achievement. I should have got one ready. Yeah, I got some. If a kid comes into camp, I give them one of these buttons, which is for the first ship, and I give them a piece of heat tile off the first ship, which is an outstanding gift.
Very cool.
Then I tell them, when you come back from Mars, you got to bring me some.
Oh, yeah.
And then I tell them, since I'm invested in you, I want to make sure you know how to get there. And so I tell them then, it takes education, responsibility, courage, and most of all, you got to mind your parents. And then once
That's a good tip.
Then once they say that, I give them this wonderful book. It is the best star-based book you could ever see from my group. My group puts this book together.
Okay.
Then I have backpacks, puzzles,
all kinds of stuff
patches.
for the kids.
And I just sit there and I keep asking them questions like, what's your career going to be? And every time they answer, we fill their backpack. So we like to give each kid $50 at least minimum of gifts.
Okay.
And it just inspires them. They're just, I mean, we make a difference in kids' lives every day here.
That's very cool.
Awesome.
Very neat. I did not expect that that's what you were doing down here.
Yeah, you didn't know, but
Yeah.
I look like just an old guy sitting here, but I kind of got a powerhouse behind me.
Yeah, well, I just read a little bit on the reviews about you, so I know you weren't just some bum hanging out down here. So, all right, very cool.
Doing really well.
And this, what's the deal with this specific launch here?
You know, I'm not the space nerd people. I'm here for children's achievement.
Okay, I got you.
I'm actually more on the social side. No, the idea of this one is to bring the booster back and do a successful landing in the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
Maybe deploy some Starlink dummy capsules to prove they can drop those out.
Okay, yeah, I think we talked to somebody else. He said they were sending up. They just the what do you call them? Prototypes that they're just going to re-enter and burn up.
They've used the same plan for the last several launches, and once they complete that, then the next thing will be bring the booster back, and then the Starship will orbit and come back and land.
Gotcha.
So when they complete this cycle, the next one will be one more. Just keep building.
Well, they are doing some just crazy stuff.
Oh, this is awesome being here.
Yeah, I bet.
This is the most important place on the face of the earth, and a launch is the most exciting thing ever on the space.
Well, yeah, this is some real pioneering stuff that they're doing. Absolutely, right? So, okay, well, hey, I appreciate it. Thanks again. And we're just going to kind of meander around. We're going to check out your little leaflet there. And we're not kids, but can we buy a set of these?
The way I do it is I give kids all this stuff, and then anything the adults want, they give a donation.
Okay.
And I just, free, whatever you can do, give a donation, and that funds it.
Okay. Well, that's what we're going to do. All right. Well, thanks again. I'm going to turn this camera off and get you off the microphone. So.
Come see me.
All right. Thanks again.
This is crazy that we are this close. Like, you would think, not that it's like top secret, but
We're 200 yards from this thing, right? Guys, look at this. We're 200 yards. Probably looks farther away in this camera, but I would say we're 250 yards away from this massive rocket that they're gonna launch into space.
yeah, and there's like people out here just walking, you know, on these trails and stuff, and I don't see any guards like patrolling the perimeter or anything.
Okay, so obviously, I've said it a couple of times, this is the launch site right here, but if we look way over here, that structure over there is the SpaceX base camp. That's kind of a neat little spot over there. They've got lots of housing for, I guess, all of the employees, everybody that's working over there. They've got like a little Airstream RV park.
Yeah, Airstreams, tiny homes, park models. So if it's not gated off.
Yeah, and because I'm sure that those people, they probably work so much that having a place to, you know, to live on facility there is probably really really good.
And it's like, this is kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it took us, what, 20?
It's about a 20-minute drive. Once you get onto that really crappy road, it's about 20 minutes. And I would think that that's also something that they're very grateful about, is they don't have to drive on that road. There's also a hovercraft, you said?
Yes, so for any employees that are living over there in like the Port Isabel area, then there's a hovercraft that goes between Port Isabel and South Padre. You know, then they can avoid the highway.
Yeah, so that's a Musk thing, right? That's an Elon Musk thing, SpaceX thing, where he did these hovercrafts to bring the employees back and forth. So
yeah,
pretty cool. All right, we're gonna continue to walk around this way a little bit and see just what the different view is.
Yeah.
All right, so this is as close as you can get to this thing, and it's pretty freaking close, guys.
Yeah.
Again, I know we said this like 3 or 4 times. I cannot believe you can get this close to this thing. And what they're doing out here is just, I don't know, just mind-blowing, I guess is all I can say. Again, I don't think we're willing to battle the traffic to come down here and get as close as we can, but everybody says that we should be able to see it where we're at. I think I said previously we're about 20 miles as the crow flies from here, and our friends have said that they could see it, they could feel it, and they could hear it from where we were. So anyway, we're gonna wrap this up.
We have a pool date.
We do have a pool date. As a matter of fact, our friends are at the pool right now, so I think we're gonna head back. So again, if you come out here, so we're gonna put some information down in the description area below for Calvin. Calvin was a super, super nice guy.
Yes.
He was kind of funny. We asked him if he wanted to be on YouTube, and he kind of hemmed it off for just a second. He said, let me tell you, let me just ask you, what do you think of Elon? The politics aside, all that stuff aside, the space stuff, what he's doing is very, very cool. It's some real pioneering stuff.
Yeah.
And I think if anybody can get us to Mars, I think he can get us there. So that was kind of his line or his whatever.
Well, and in his defense, I guess he had been burned before. He had done an interview with, and I won't name them, but a big news agency. Yeah. And I don't know what they did, but he was not happy with the outcome. So.
Yeah. So so he was just very careful about talking to anybody in the media. So anyway, if you come here, you got to make sure that you talk to Calvin at Base Camp Zero. He's got a lot of good information. He does some really, really good stuff for the kids that come out. He's got all kinds of stuff that he gives away. I think he talked about all that on the camera there. So we bought a couple of things from him, some magnets and postcard and the little book and stuff. So if you come out, make sure you talk to him. All right, I'm ready to go back. I'm starving, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to go back, grab a bite to eat, grab a bite to eat, and hit the pool.
There you go.
Bye. So what the heck is this thing?
I'm gonna assume it's for your fishing line filament. Like, it should be standing up. Like, I feel like I've seen these before at like fishing docks.
So actually, if you have been here before or have seen this somewhere else and you know what this thing is, put it down in the comments and let us know what the heck this thing is.
Yeah.
It was obviously put here for a reason.